Now we're live.
Now we're live. Yay. Good evening, Melanie. Good evening, Dan.
Welcome, Dan. Welcome, Melanie. How have you been? Feels like forever. Probably because it has been, but
It has been a while. We have had a series of unfortunate events occur, shall we say. So we have just been,
I'd love to read that series again.
right? So good. Katie's reading them with Harry.
Oh, that's awesome.
He went as Klaus for. I get to dress up as characters for World Book Day.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I think that's cool.
Klaus is just... How do you dress up as Klaus, though? It's like... Dress up like a fancy kid?
You put like a sweater on and get the glasses, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hello, Galaxy.
Hey, Galaxy.
It is good to be
Ooh.
back. It is good to be back.
Got one. Okay, come with.
All right, we can't start yet. So in the meantime, maybe we can just discuss a couple things. Oh my God, I forgot about those. Yes. So we found these at the store. They are butterbeer flavored goldfish.
They don't sound good. That's just my opinion.
I do not think they sound good either. But I also thought I am obligated to try them.
You're not. But now you're making us.
I felt like we were obligated to try them. They were at Walmart. Says reveal your spellbinding treat on the back.
Got it?
Yes.
Oh,
got it.
I was half expecting just the bag to
Pop open.
explode.
Oh, I see. So the treats can come either as plain goldfish, little owls, or butterbeer barrels. All the animals do gather when there is food. Yes.
The crinkling bag sounds like the treat bag.
All right. Here we go. Oh, we got barrel. Here we go.
You doing it at the same time?
She's new in the sense that we got her last year, but I don't know if she's ever been on camera really too much before.
She was a very shy kitty. She took a lot of work to get to...
Be nice.
Yeah. I don't actually hate that.
I don't hate it either.
Because they're more like graham crackers. I was expecting like traditional goldfish.
Yeah, they're kind of like graham crackers. They're they're not bad. I was expecting to be horrified. Not horrified. I know at one point there were 4 animals in frame.
What's
Because baby boy is in the corner, Bobans is
what's that taste? I know
butterscotch.
Thank you. Yes, butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
It's basically butterscotch and graham cracker together.
Yeah. Not terrible. Not that disappointed. I thought they were really going to be gross. I thought they were going to be absolutely disgusting, and they weren't.
That would actually probably make a great like cheesecake base. Like the crust for a cheesecake with them.
Yeah. Probably would. Little brown sugar and some butter, then make a nice pasty. Oh, yes, Bailey was in frame at one point, yes. So, John Lithgow is officially playing Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series. How do we all feel about that?
I haven't really seen him since like Third Rock from the Sun, so I don't know. I don't even know what he looks like now.
I mean, he looks like he did in Third Rock from the Sun, just
Older.
older.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That helps.
You're welcome. Yeah, I don't know. Not much has really changed. I mean, he just looks old now. I personally think he's a good choice. I am just a little worried about how old he actually is.
Clock's ticking. How many seasons?
He said he's gonna be 86 or 87 when the show's done.
Is he really that old?
Yeah, he's like 79.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up with another case of two Dumbledores.
Oh my god. My god.
It'd be even worse if he is a great Dumbledore.
I know.
Just, it's happening again.
I said that if he's in really good shape and he can make it, they should film his Deathly Hallows stuff at the same time that they film his Half-Blood Prince stuff. And then it's done. But yeah, he's going to be like 86. And he said this is the last role he is taking his career. So he is taking it very seriously. And he says he is a big fan of the books. And he really wants to do Dumbledore justice.
Well, that's good. I hope he at least reads the books.
He-
like the producer
He's
or director. I can't
well,
remember.
the
Was he-
one producer that hadn't read the books has since gone through and read the books.
Thank God. No, I agree, Galaxy. I am very apprehensive about it, too.
Yeah.
Especially after some of the stuff I heard. The only thing with John Lithgow is, like, I thought everyone had to be British.
I did too.
This just opens up a whole new world of characters I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dennis from
It's
Always
Always
Sunny in Philadelphia. Great Voldemort.
He would be a great Voldemort.
I could even see him as Snape.
You guys should all get together. All of our subscribers, you all should get together and pitch the studio. Tell them that a complete unknown a la moi should get to play Umbridge in the show.
That's true. You're in the running now. You could audition.
Good.
You should.
I could do it, guys. Y'all should back me up on this one.
Whenever the auditions are, you should reach out.
Throw my hat in there.
Yeah.
It would be pretty cool, guys. Be pretty cool. How has everyone else been? What have all of you been up to? I feel like so much has just happened.
Oh, who did we say? Because once we figured that out, we were talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia crew, if they were all in Harry Potter, because it was Dennis would be Voldemort.
Yeah.
Frank would be Wormtail.
Frank would be Wormtail. It was I posted it on a Reddit post.
Sirius was coming after me. So anyways, I
It
started blasting.
Yeah.
It fits so well.
It does fit so well. D was Narcissa. Mac
No,
was
we
Lucius.
never figured out who D was,
Oh my
because it
God.
didn't fit anywhere, because it couldn't be Bellatrix.
Didn't I say Charlie should be Bellatrix?
Yeah.
Charlie should be Bellatrix. But then somebody else was like, no, Charlie should be Barty Crouch Jr. And
Yeah,
all I
I
could
could see
picture
that.
was Charlie with the big, like, conspiracy wall. And I'm like, that's him explaining to Dumbledore his grand plan after housing all that Veritaserum. Hi, Lil. Hi,
See
Lil.
that episode? The gang goes to Hogwarts.
Yeah, right? Well, they can make me look toad-like. And I know I'm nice, but Umbridge's whole thing is that she pretends to be so sticky, sweet, and nice. It's called acting.
And you love cats.
You love cats. That actually is genuine.
Well, should have fun with that.
Okay. In other news, it's totally not related to Harry Potter, but I have to get it out. I just watched Nosferatu, and I am obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. I know I'm like 3 months behind, but it's just in my brain, and I can't get it out.
Emma Stone could be McGonagall.
I think she looks like too young.
I was gonna say, I think she's too young.
Like she looks too. Not that she is too young, but she looks too. Anyway, I just had to get that out. It's like my new favorite movie of all time. I can't. Yeah. I want him to watch it. I don't know if he will, but I want him to watch it.
Probably not.
I don't know. Why not?
I have no desire to. I don't know.
Why not?
No.
What about it is not appealing? Everything about it is appealing.
I don't know. It's just not a movie that sparks joy.
It sparks all the joy.
Not for me.
What?
There's no joy to be had.
It sparks all the joy. Anyway. This is a Harry Potter live stream, not a film or vampire live stream. So I guess I won't talk about it anymore. But I just had to let you all know that's what's rotting my brain these days. I'm going to do my best to focus on Harry Potter. Yeah. So I picked chapter 1 of the Deathly Hallows, the Dark Lord Ascending. Melanie, if you have to leave us to go do something else, we will not be offended. I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
Just say it.
Okay. I picked the Dark Lord Ascending because I figured, given the times we are currently living in, and
maybe not say it.
the events of the last month, it feels appropriate. It just kind of feels appropriate.
Okay.
You told me to say it. I said it.
I know. I didn't know what you were going to say, though.
I said what I said. The Dark Lord is ascending right now. That's what. Although, I'm pretty sure one is very obviously Voldemort, and one is very obviously Pious Thickness.
Maybe that's who Max should play. Bulking.
At this point, few people would be offended. That's true. It is a good color, isn't it? It is. That wasn't even on purpose.
Wait, what?
Blue.
Oh.
Yeah, Order of the Phoenix. Yeah. I was thinking about reading from Order of the Phoenix as well. But I felt like this chapter was more appropriate because I feel like this is really just what's happened. But if everyone is ready, we will start to read. What do we think?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Jackson's ready. Okay, as long as Jackson's ready, then we can start. Chapter 1. The Dark Lord Ascending. The two men appeared out of nowhere, a few yards apart in the narrow moonlit lane. For a second they stood quite still, wands directed at each other's chests. Then, recognizing each other, they stowed their wands beneath their cloaks and started walking briskly in the same direction. "News?" said the taller of the two. "The best," replied Severus Snape. The lane was bordered on the left by wild, low-growing brambles, on the right by a high, neatly manicured hedge. The men's long cloaks flapped round their ankles as they marched. "Thought I might be late," said Yaxley, his blunt features sliding in and out of sight as the branches of overhanging trees broke the moonlight. "It was trickier than I expected, but I hope you will be satisfied. You sound confident that your reception will be good." Snape nodded, but did not elaborate. They turned right into a wide driveway that led off the lane. The high hedge curved with them, running off into the distance beyond the pair of impressive wrought iron gates barring the men's way. Neither of them broke step. In silence, both raised their left arms in a kind of salute. Oh, a kind of salute. What kind of salute, boys? And passed straight through as though the dark metal was smoke. The yew hedges muffled the sound of the men's footsteps. There was a rustle somewhere to their right. Yaxley drew his wand again, pointing it over his companion's head, but the source of the noise proved to be nothing more than a pure white peacock strutting majestically along the top of the hedge. "He always did himself well, Lucius. Peacocks." Yaxley thrust his wand back under his cloak with a snort. A handsome manor house grew out of the darkness at the end of the straight drive, lights glinting in the diamond-paned downstairs windows. Somewhere in the dark garden beyond the hedge a fountain was playing. Gravel crackled beneath their feet as Snape and Yaxley sped toward the front door, which swung inward at their approach, though nobody had visibly opened it. The hallway was large, dimly lit, and sumptuously decorated, with a magnificent carpet covering most of the stone floor. The eyes of the pale-faced portraits on the walls followed Snape and Yaxley as they strode past. The two men halted at a heavy door leading into the next room, hesitated for the space of a heartbeat, then Snape turned the bronze handle. The drawing room was full of silent people, sitting at a long and ornate table. The room's usual furniture had been pushed carelessly up against the walls. Illumination came from a roaring fire beneath a handsome marble mantelpiece, surrounded by a gilded mirror. Snape and Yaxley lingered for a moment on the threshold. As their eyes grew accustomed to the lack of light, they were drawn upward to the strangest feature of the scene, an apparently unconscious human figure hanging upside down over the table, revolving slowly, as if suspended by an invisible rope, and reflected in the mirror and in the bare, polished surface of the table below. None of the people seated underneath this singular sight was looking at it, except for a pale young man sitting almost directly below it. He seemed unable to prevent himself from glancing upward every minute or two. "Yaxley, Snape," said a high, clear voice from the head of the table. "You are very nearly late." The speaker was seated directly in front of the fireplace, so that it was difficult at first for the new arrivals to make out more than his silhouette. As they drew nearer, however, his face shone through the gloom, hairless, snake-like, with slits for nostrils and gleaming red eyes whose pupils were vertical. He was so pale that he seemed to emit a pearly glow. "Severus, here," said Voldemort, indicating the seat on his immediate right. "Yaxley, beside Dolohov." The two men took their allotted places. Most of the voices round the table followed Snape, and it was to him that Voldemort spoke first. "So?" "My lord, the Order of the Phoenix intends to move Harry Potter from his current place of safety on Saturday night, next, at nightfall." The interest round the table sharpened palpably. Some stiffened, others fidgeted, all gazing at Snape and Voldemort. "Saturday, at nightfall," repeated Voldemort. His red eyes fastened upon Snape's black ones with such intensity that some of the watchers looked away, apparently fearful that they themselves be scorched by the ferocity of the gaze. Snape, however, looked calmly back into Voldemort's face, and after a moment or two, Voldemort's lipless mouth curved into something like a smile. "Good. Very good. And this information comes—" "From the source we discussed," said Snape. "My lord." Yaxley had leaned forward to look down the long table at Voldemort and Snape. All faces turned to him. My lord, I've heard differently. Yaxley waited, but Voldemort did not speak, so he went on. Dawlish, the Auror, let slip that Potter will not be moved until the 30th, the night before the boy turns 17. Snape was smiling. My source confirmed that there are plans to lay a false trail. This must be it. No doubt a confundus charm has been placed upon Dawlish. It would not be the first time. He is known to be susceptible. I assure you, my lord, Dawlish seemed quite certain, said Yaxley. If he has been confunded, naturally he is certain, said Snape. I assure you, Yaxley, the Auror Office will play no further part in the protection of Harry Potter. The Order believes that we have infiltrated the Ministry. The Order's got one thing then, right then, eh? Said a squat man sitting a short distance from Yaxley. He gave a wheezy giggle that was echoed here and there along the table. Voldemort did not laugh. His gaze had wandered upward to the body revolving slowly overhead, and he seemed to be lost in thought. My lord, Yaxley went on, Dawlish believes an entire party of Aurors will be used to transfer the boy. Voldemort held up a large white hand, and Yaxley subsided at once, watching resentfully as Voldemort turned back to Snape. Where are they going to hide the boy next? At the home of one of the Order, said Snape. The place, according to the source, has been given every protection that the Order and Ministry together could provide. I think that there is little chance of taking him once he is there, my lord, unless, of course, the Ministry has fallen before next Saturday, which might give us the opportunity to discover and undo enough of the enchantments to break through the rest. Well, Yaxley? Voldemort called down the table, the firelight glinting strangely in his red eyes. Will the Ministry have fallen by next Saturday? Once again, all heads turned. Yaxley squared his shoulders. My lord, I've got good news on that score. I have, with difficulty and after great effort, succeeded in placing an imperious curse upon pious Thickness. Many of those sitting around Yaxley looked impressed. His neighbour, Dolohov, a man with a long, twisted face, clapped him on the back. It's a start, said Voldemort. But Thickness is only one man. Scrimgeour must be surrounded by our people before I act. One failed attempt on the minister's life will set me back a long way. Yes, my lord, that is true. But you know, as head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, Thickness has regular contact with not only the minister himself, but also with the heads of all the other ministry departments. It will, I think, be easy, now that we have such a high-ranking official under our control, to subjugate the others, and then they can all work together to bring Scrimgeour down. As long as our friend Thickness is not discovered before he has converted the rest, said Voldemort. At any rate, it remains unlikely that the Ministry will be mine before next Saturday. If we cannot touch the boy at his destination, then it must be done while he travels. We are at an advantage there, my lord, said Yaxley, who seemed determined to receive some portion of approval. We now have several people planted within the Department of Magical Transportation. If Potter apparates to use the Flu Network, we shall know immediately. He will do neither, said Snape. The Order is eschewing any form of transport that is controlled or regulated by the Ministry. They mistrust everything to do with the place. All the better, said Voldemort. He will have to move in the open. Easier to take, by far. Again, Voldemort looked up at the slowly revolving body as he went on. I shall attend to the boy in person. There have been too many mistakes where Harry Potter is concerned. Some of them have been my own. That Potter lives is more due to my errors than to his triumphs. The company around the table watched Voldemort apprehensively, each of them, by his or her own expression, afraid that they might be blamed for Harry Potter's continued existence. Voldemort, however, seemed to be speaking more to himself than to any of them, still addressing the unconscious body above him. I've been careless.
and so have been thwarted by luck and chance, those wreckers of all but the best laid plans. But I know better now. I understand those things that I did not understand before. I must be the one to kill Harry Potter, and I shall be."
At these words, seemingly in response to them, a sudden wail sounded, a terrible drawn-out cry of misery and pain. Many of those at the table looked downward, startled, for the sound had seemed to issue from below their feet.
"Wormtail,"
said Voldemort, with no change in his quiet, thoughtful tone, and without removing his eyes from the revolving body above,
"have I not spoken to you about keeping our prisoner quiet?"
Yes, my lord," gasped a small man halfway down the table, who'd been sitting so low in his chair that it had appeared at first glance to be unoccupied. Now he scrambled from his seat and scurried from the room, leaving nothing behind him but a curious gleam of silver.
"As I was saying,"
continued Voldemort, looking again at the tense faces of his followers,
"I understand better now. I shall need, for instance, to borrow a wand from one of you before I go to kill Potter."
The faces round him displayed nothing but shock. He might have announced that he wanted to borrow one of their arms.
"No volunteers?"
said Voldemort.
"Let's see. Lucius, I see no reason for you to carry a wand any more."
Lucius Malfoy looked up. His skin appeared yellowish and waxy in the firelight, and his eyes were sunken and shadowed. When he spoke, his voice was hoarse. "My lord?"
"Your wand, Lucius. I require your wand."
I... Malfoy glanced sideways at his wife. She was staring straight ahead, quite as pale as he was, her long blonde hair hanging down her back, but beneath the table her slim fingers closed briefly on his wrist. At her touch, Malfoy put his hands into his robes, withdrew a wand, and passed it along to Voldemort, who held it up in front of his red eyes, examining it closely.
"What is it?"
"Elm, my lord," whispered Malfoy.
"And the core?"
Dragon heartstring."
"Good,"
said Voldemort. He drew out his own wand and compared the lengths. Lucius Malfoy made an involuntary movement. For a fraction of a second, it seemed to be he expected to receive Voldemort's wand in exchange for his own. The gesture was not missed by Voldemort, whose eyes widened maliciously.
"Give you my wand, Lucius? My wand?"
Some of the throng sniggered.
"I have given you your liberty, Lucius. Is that not enough for you? But I have noticed that you and your family seem less than happy of late. What is it about my presence in your home that displeases you, Lucius?"
Nothing, my lord."
"Such lies, Lucius."
The soft voice seemed to hiss on even after the cruel mouth had stopped moving. One or two of the wizards barely repressed a shudder as the hissing grew louder. Something heavy could be heard sliding across the floor beneath the table. The huge snake emerged to climb slowly up Voldemort's chair. It rose seemingly endlessly and came to rest across Voldemort's shoulder, its neck the thickness of a man's thigh, its eyes, with their vertical slits for pupils, unblinking. Voldemort stroked the creature absently with long, thin fingers, still looking at Lucius Malfoy.
"Why do the Malfoys look so unhappy with their lot? Is my return, my rise to power, not the very thing they profess to desire for so many years?"
That sounds like a familiar narrative I keep hearing quite a lot these days. "Of course, my lord," said Lucius Malfoy. His hand shook as he wiped sweat from his upper lip. "We did desire it. We do." To Malfoy's left, his wife made an odd, stiff nod, her eyes averted from Voldemort and the snake. To his right, his son Draco, who'd been gazing up at the inert body overhead, glanced quickly at Voldemort and away again, terrified to make eye contact.
"My lord,"
said a dark woman halfway down the table, her voice constricted with emotion.
"it is an honor to have you here, in our family's house. There can be no higher pleasure."
She sat beside her sister, as unlike her in looks, with her dark hair and heavily lidded eyes, as she was in bearing and demeanour. Where Narcissa sat rigid and impassive, Bellatrix leaned toward Voldemort, for mere words could not demonstrate her longing for closeness.
"No higher pleasure,"
repeated Voldemort, his head tilted a little to one side as he considered Bellatrix.
"That means a great deal, Bellatrix. From you."
Her face flooded with colour, her eyes welled with tears of delight.
"My lord knows I speak nothing but the truth." "No higher pleasure. Even compared with the happy event that I hear has taken place in your family over the weekend."
She stared at him, her lips parted, evidently confused.
"I do not know what you mean, my lord." "I'm talking about your niece, Bellatrix, and yours, Lucius and Narcissa. She's just married the werewolf, Remus Lupin. You must be so proud."
There was an eruption of jeering laughter from around the table. Many leaned forward to exchange gleeful looks. A few thumped the table with their fists. The great snake, disliking the disturbance, opened its mouth wide and hissed angrily, but the Death Eaters did not hear it. So jubilant were they at Bellatrix and the Malfoys' humiliation. Bellatrix's face, so recently flushed with happiness, had turned an ugly, blotchy red.
"She is no niece of ours, my lord,"
she cried over the outpouring of mirth.
"We, Narcissa and I, have never set eyes on our sister since she married the mudblood. This brat has nothing to do with either of us, nor any beast she marries." "What say you, Draco?"
asked Voldemort, and though his voice was quiet, it carried clearly through the catcalls and jeers.
"Will you babysit the cubs?"
The hilarity mounted. Draco Malfoy looked in terror at his father, who was staring down into his lap, then caught his mother's eye. She shook her head almost imperceptibly, then resumed her own deadpan stare at the opposite wall.
"Enough,"
said Voldemort, stroking the angry snake.
"Enough."
And the laughter died at once.
"Many of our oldest family trees become a little diseased over time,"
he said as Bellatrix gazed at him, breathless and imploring.
"You must prune yours, must you not, to keep it healthy? Cut away those parts that threaten the health of the rest."
"Yes, my lord," whispered Bellatrix, and her eyes swam with tears of gratitude again.
"At the first chance." "And you shall have it,"
said Voldemort.
"And in your family, so in the world. We shall cut away the canker that infects us until only those of true blood remain."
Voldemort raised Lucius Malfoy's wand, pointed it directly at the slowly revolving figure suspended over the table, and gave it a tiny flick. The figure came to life with a groan and began to struggle against invisible bonds.
"Do you recognize our guest, Severus?"
asked Voldemort. Snape raised his eyes to the upside-down face. All of the Death Eaters were looking up at the captive now, as though they had been given permission to show curiosity. As she revolved to face the firelight, the woman said in a cracked and terrified voice,
"Severus, help me."
"Ah, yes," said Snape as the prisoner turned slowly away again.
"And you, Draco?"
asked Voldemort, stroking the snake's snout with his wand-free hand. Draco shook his head jerkily. Now that the woman had awoken, he seemed unable to look at her any more.
"But you would not have taken her classes," said Voldemort. For those of you who do not know, we are joined here tonight by Charity Burbage, who until recently taught at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
There were small noises of comprehension round the table. A broad, hunched woman with pointed teeth cackled. Who is that lady, man? Who is that lady? She seems like she wears a gold-gilded diaper, that's what.
Yes, Professor Burbage taught the children of witches and wizards all about muggles, how they are not so different from us.
One of the Death Eaters spat on the floor. Charity Burbage revolved to face Snape again.
Severus, please, please. Silence,
said Voldemort, with another twitch of Malfoy's wand, and Charity fell silent as if gagged.
Not content with corrupting and polluting the minds of wizarding children, last week Professor Burbage wrote an impassioned defense of mudbloods in the Daily Prophet. Wizards, she says, must accept these thieves of their knowledge and magic. The dwindling of the purebloods is, says Professor Burbage, a most desirable circumstance. She would have us all mate with muggles, or, no doubt, werewolves.
Nobody laughed this time. There was no mistaking the anger and contempt in Voldemort's voice. For the third time, Charity Burbage revolved to face Snape. Tears were pouring from her eyes into her hair. Snape looked back at her, quite impassive, as she turned slowly away from him again.
Avada Kedavra.
The flash of green light illuminated every corner of the room. Charity fell, with a resounding crash, onto the table below, which trembled and creaked. Several of the Death Eaters leapt back in their chairs. Draco fell out of his onto the floor.
Dinner, Nagini,
said Voldemort softly, and the great snake swayed and slithered from his shoulders onto the polished wood.
Yeah, I see why you chose it.
'Twas a wee bit appropriate, I think.
Just a little bit. I always feel bad for Lucius. It's like the one chapter I kind of feel bad for the guy. He brought it on himself.
He
Don't get me
totally
wrong,
did.
But I guess I feel worse for Narcissa. I feel like she was just going along with Lucius for the most part.
So goes Voldy's anti-DEI campaign. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I could say, Melanie? I could say this. If you have sympathy for Lucius and Narcissa, I could just say, well, what you voted for? Why you mad?
Ha 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 ha.
Right?
I mean, I guess, to be fair.
This just resonates quite a lot. You even have the elements of, well, you know, we tried to take over last time and it didn't quite work out, so we're gonna try to do it again, and this time they're actually successful.
Yeah.
Coup me once, shame on you. Coup me twice, shame on me.
Did you just come up with that?
I did actually, yes. That was good, right?
Very good.
That was a good one.
Unless you're George Bush. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me once, you can't get fooled again.
I know. That's one of my favorites. Oh my god. Do you remember when that was just a thing? You could buy books of the Bushisms. They would just be like, guess what W said today?
No,
and it was
I
just
didn't
this
know that.
oh my god. He just said the funniest stuff. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even think that was real when I first heard it. So I was like, because I didn't hear it until like more recently.
Oh, I
thought it was like
I saw
AI
it
or
like on the
something,
news.
and I was just like, oh my god.
That was see, Dan appreciates my Stupid jokes. Foo me once. I'm currently. There isn't enough paper to print the books of Drumpf's word salad. Oh my god. There have been at least Voldemort has things to say.
Too much some people. If he had a few less words to say, he would have won.
Ooh, Voldemort?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just saying.
I'm just saying, at least in the book 4 monologue, he spoke a lot, but all the points were valid and it all made sense. And there were not things that were repeated over and 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 over again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Does Voldemort ever call himself the greatest of all time? I feel like he does, at least.
I don't think
he
so.
does. In book 2, he says, how could a kid, when he's in the chamber, he says, how could a baby defeat the greatest sorcerer in the world, or whatever he says, or the greatest wizard in the world. So he does do it one time.
He's the GOAT.
Not as often as other people, but... Curiously enough, also, the little basement where everyone's being held is mentioned in this chapter because Wormtail goes and checks on their prisoner down there.
Mm-hmm.
During my book 2 reread right now, Malfoy mentions his basement in the last chapter that we read. He mentions his basement because the ministry, the
ministry came and searched it, right?
Came and searched it, and he talks about how they didn't look in the basement, whatever. And I'm like, the basement where Ollivander and Luna get stashed. That basement.
And what does he have stashed down there?
Dark things.
Do you ever find out? Must be the cabinet, right?
No, the cabinet's at Borgin and Burke's.
Oh, yeah.
All the stuff.
So I don't think we ever find out.
All the stuff that Draco uses in book 6 is mentioned in book 2, and it's in the shop.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of dark stuff. Who knows what they've got there. All kinds of things.
Episode of Hoarders going to the Lucius's house.
Yeah, I know, right?
Or the Malfoys, not the Lucius's.
Not the Lucius. I thought you said just Lucius's.
No.
I didn't hear you say the Lucius. Yeah, I don't know. This also made me think. We have our Pious Thickness and we have our Voldemort. Where's our Harry Potter? We need ourselves a Harry Potter.
I don't know.
We need one.
No, what we need is an Umbridge for the show. That's you.
Well, yes, that true. That true. Let me play Umbridge, HBO. I have no acting experience whatsoever, but I feel like I could do it.
There have been plenty of actors and actresses who have had no experience.
I can learn how to hit a mark. I could do it. Our Harry Potter might be AOC. Her Hermione might be Jasmine Crockett. Oh my god, Jasmine Crockett made me laugh the other day. I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you about it later because we're treading the waters here. But I'm not gonna go. I'll tell you after. We can tread the waters a little.
Okay.
We don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been avoiding.
But we are a book channel, so we don't have to go too I just cracked up. Jasmine Crockett makes me laugh. In a good way. In a good way. I think she's awesome.
What?
I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something about the chapter, and I don't remember what I was going to say. It has left me like a thief in the night.
The fact that Bellatrix seems to be the only one enjoying herself in this meeting.
She really does seem to be the only one enjoying herself. And Voldemort just goes out of his way to humiliate her and make her feel terrible.
How dare you laugh at one of my meetings?
She, like, Rowling really ramps up the amount of unrequited love that Bellatrix has for Voldemort. I mean, I think it's definitely there in the earlier books, but like book 7, she's like, in case you had doubts, she loves this man, and her husband, just a cuck. Oh yeah, I was just talking out of my butt. But I think you misused thief in the night. I was like, I was just talking out of my butt. I wasn't trying to be. As in, our president doesn't read books.
Yeah.
Dementia's probably so bad he could read a book if he wanted to.
I feel like too few people read books anymore.
Yeah. Or if they do read books, they're... Oh my god. Fourth Wing was mentioned by Caleb Hammer on Financial Audit.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. There was an episode, not the last episode, which was really funny, but the episode before, he was going through their Amazon. And he's like, this is that furry book with the dragon smut in it, isn't it? That all my girlfriends in my friend circle are reading. It's that dragon smut stuff. And the wife is like, no, it's not dragon smut. It's not. It's a romance. And he's like, no. There's dragon sex things in this book.
Did you feel vindicated?
I
about
felt
someone else.
I felt seen.
I mean, I probably would have felt the same way. I'm just not reading it after
I felt
your
seen.
reaction.
I felt acknowledged by a YouTube channel that doesn't have anything to do with books, but I felt seen. Great. Well, yeah, all stories need a moral lesson, and I think Harry Potter is actually a very good one given the times, because Harry Potter is all about fighting oppression and fighting injustice and, you know, rights and privileges and all those things. And you too, Melanie. Have fun at your other thing.
Talk to you later.
So Harry Potter is very appropriate for these kinds of situations, because Harry Potter kind of deals with that very real thing. It starts at school, and then it grows out into the macro, the entire wizarding world, and all that stuff. So the lessons are there to be learned. And maybe it would behoove everyone to maybe go back and look at Harry Potter and really read it and take a look at the whole resist the unjust and the oppression kind of thing. It's a big part of these books.
And finally, Ramona is reading them.
Mm-hmm. She is more than halfway through book 2. We are going to read The Very Secret Diary when she comes home. That'll be the next chapter. She knows, I'm pretty sure that it's a snake.
Does she?
Yeah. Because, like, we were reading the chapter and she just, oh, Lil, that was cute. She just goes, who's the snake gonna attack next? And I was like, how do you know it's a snake? And she goes, Harry can talk to snakes. Slytherin can talk to snakes. A snake just popped out. There's just snakes everywhere. Like, it's a snake.
Kid's too smart. I didn't even know it was a snake.
Did
Wait, did I guess it was a snake? I can't remember if I
I
guessed it was
think
a
you
snake.
did, but not that fast. I think you did once he finds out he's a parcel tongue and then he hears the voice again. I think after he hears when he hears the voice again after finding out he's a parcel tongue, I think that's when you figured it out and you were like, "Oh, that's why he hears it, no one else does."
Okay.
Think.
I can't remember.
Either that or you
Go back.
found out he was a parcel tongue and then you were like, "Oh, is that why Lockhart didn't hear it cuz it's a snake?" You made the connection, but not in the same way that Ramona did.
I was going to say. No, I have not. I have not done a reread.
Crazy, right? Because when we're reading Chamber of
I-
Secrets right now, and it's kind of crazy all the things that I'm like finding that are like popping up, all little Horcrux clues and stuff. Harry described the sensation in his stomach as being like filled with snakes inside. Horcrux clue, and Nagini later.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to see that in the show.
The Nagini thing.
Yeah, how
Oh my
gross
God.
are they? What is do you know what the show is going to be rated? Guessing like TV 14 or something.
I would think that I don't know because it's going to be all about how they market it, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to market it for kids only? Are they going to market it more towards, all of us people who are grown up who are still obsessed with the books?
I feel like more towards us.
Uh,
HBO, they do more adult type show.
Or would you say change the? Because me personally, I want it to be disgusting, horrifying body horror, blood, wrinkly skin, crunching bones as her corpse just collapses while this massive snake, whose neck is as thick as a man's thigh, it's huge, just I want it to be that. Well, I guess she
mean,
wouldn't be bleeding if she was a corpse, right? She's a corpse, so I guess there wouldn't be blood everywhere.
I don't want to be the one to like yuck your yums, but yuck.
Or would it be like if she's already dead, right? I guess she's dead. There's no blood in her body anymore. So maybe would her flesh just start like sloughing off because it's like rotting?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that too.
Thick as a man's thigh, though. Isn't that thick? When you think of like anacondas and stuff, like they're a lot bigger.
That's
that?
true, but it said her neck. But like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's a really big anaconda. Yeah, I suppose, and maybe not like her thigh.
I was gonna say like my thighs. I feel like my thighs on the side.
Yeah, that's fair. Got muscle and stuff on it. That's true. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they rate it because I mean, even the first season, you could kind of go, really dark with it. You could make the whole Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head thing pretty horrifying if you wanted to.
I feel like they will. I don't know. I just thought of that. Like they could really ruin the show based on what they rate it. Like if they rate it for too young, they won't be able to show like a lot of the stuff. They'll just have to be inferred, but
Yeah, they have to rate it more than just for kids because by the time you get to like 4, it'd be dark. People be dying.
it was kind of like the second Venom movie with Carnage. Then they rated it PG-13. So
Oh, I know. Why couldn't they have just rated that R and let it rip?
Carnage, I feel like you have to.
It's Carnage. It should have been Carnage. Oh, it is a big stretch of a little. Oh,
We already got R-rated Harry Potter from Corridor Digital? What?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Aragog. Aragog's probably going to be very creepy with like modern day CGI.
Oh yeah, Aragog could definitely be creepy. We have to see the third one. We've seen the first two. We haven't seen the third one. The first two are a lot of fun. Very excited to see the third one. But I will say, Dan, if you were going to watch anything, you need to watch Nosferatu. Just saying.
But yeah, I like Venom. Don't go into it expecting like some deep, amazing movie. It's just grab a bowl of popcorn,
it's fun.
sit back, enjoy yourself.
It's just fun. Yeah, it's just fun. Nosferatu, however, will change your life. Just saying. Saying.
Well, my life is fine the way it is. So.
His life fine the way it is. Crazy. Crazy. I don't know. Is there anything else about this chapter? I don't know. I was more struck by the connections to what we are all currently living through right now, and I thought we would all sit and listen and ponder about how art imitates life a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can do the ring composition. It starts out with Voldemort and all his goons around one person getting killed, and it ends with everyone else around Voldemort getting killed.
Hey, you found a parallel. Look at you. You did it.
I mean, it's like the obvious one.
But you did it. That's good. That's good.
Found other parallels. What? Why is this like a revelation?
Because I'm usually the one that always comes up with them, like boop, 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 boop.
I mean, can also do it ends with Creature making Harry a sandwich and ends with Nagini eating a person.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
They both end with nom noms.
They both end with noms. Both chapters end with nom noms. He said that at the beginning in the first chapter, Voldemort is surrounded by all his goons and cronies as he kills somebody. And then at the very end, he is alone surrounded by everyone else while he is killed. And then the second one was this chapter ends with Nagini having a snack. The final chapter ends with Harry Potter having Creature make him a snack.
Also begins with 2 wands, ends with 2 wands.
Yep. So the Lucius let me borrow your wand and all of that. And then Harry having Draco's wand.
Well, Harry's wand and the Elder Wand.
Right. But it's funny that Voldemort, it's also a parallel that Voldemort takes Lucius's wand in this chapter. In the final chapter, Harry defeats Voldemort with Draco's wand.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like through Draco's wand, gaining the Elder Wand. The Malfoys. The book.
I think that's how the Malfoys, told it after that. He beat him with Draco's wand.
Right. Right?
Remember that the Malfoys helped.
Malfoys helped. The Malfoys are sitting together in this one, not having a good time. And then in the very end, they are also sitting together. They're sitting together, not having a good time with a group of people that they're supposedly a part of. And then in the final chapter, they're sitting together with a group of people who they're not really a part of, and also really not having a good time.
Yeah, that's
another
rough
one. Voldemort and Bellatrix. Bellatrix longing to be close to Voldemort. And then in the very end, both of their corpses are just stashed away in a corner.
Together
Together.
at last.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I wasn't really thinking about ring composition when I read the chapter.
I wasn't either, but
I guess
things
maybe
pop
you
up.
could even draw a parallel to this chapter to like another chapter. I mean, 'cause sometimes the chapters tie multiple together. Charity Burbage is like revolving around in the bubble, and then Nagini eats her. Voldemort does like the same thing to Snape. He like puts Snape in the bubble, and Nagini like bites him. So they kind of have parallel-ish ways of going out. And then MTG cackling over. Oh my god, does Bellatrix give MTG energy? Oh, she kind of does. Oh, she kind of does. I like Bellatrix as a character, but yeah, she does give MTG vibes. That's upsetting. Ugh.
Bola just can't like retract her. Always
Capable.
out. Gets stuck every.
She's a cheetah. Not Bellatrix, the Oh, the one with the pointed teeth, the cackler. Oh, yeah, maybe she is MTG. Yeah, maybe she's MTG. Not Bellatrix. I feel like Bellatrix is classier than that. Although I do think she would get up close and personal with a Voldemort standee if she had one. Just wouldn't do it in front of other people. But yeah. I'm just trying to think of more parallels. If I can think of any.
I can't think of any more. You had like a nope.
I know, but I never made it to Deathly Hallows. I didn't do Deathly Hallows parallels. Although the Deathly Hallows parallels of between like books 1 and 7 are pretty glaringly obvious. You know, like you got the reverse parallel of in book 1, Voldemort has just lost power. In the beginning of book 7, Voldemort has just gained power.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion about how he tried to kill Harry Potter and this and that and the other thing. And in this book, it's the discussion of how he must be the only one to kill Harry Potter and blah, blah, blah. Is it midnight in this chapter? Or is it night? It's nighttime in this chapter, right?
I think so.
I think so, because it's nighttime. Moonlit Lane. It is nighttime.
Yep.
Also, going to a nice manor house. That's a 1-4-7 parallel. 4 starts at like the Riddle Manor House. 7 starts at the Malfoy Manor House. 1 starts in the very nice neighborhood of Privet Drive, but they're all like very nice, respectable places. Or were, anyway.
Respectable. Right.
Normal. Yeah, next chapter has more series beginning parallels for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
I think that's all I got for now. I'm also kind of getting tired, so
Me too.
I
I've been tired. Like went to the gym, came home, ate dinner, and like, I could take a nap. Well, sleep.
I was gonna say, or just go to bed, right?
Or just go to bed.
Hello, Catherine. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Oh no.
What?
I almost started playing this video of the man's birthday party.
Oh.
They sent more videos of his.
Gotcha.
He's actually eating stuff in this one. Yeah, we're kind of starting to wrap things up here a little bit.
Kind of a short stream.
It was kind of a short stream. We do have to get up early in the
Was
morning.
kind of an impromptu one.
Was kind of an impromptu one. Well, I wanted to read today, and then that didn't happen because you were doing things.
My job, yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't doing things on this. Well, you were doing things on this, and then you never told me you were free.
That's because I was in a meeting.
What were you
After
doing
that.
after that?
Nothing, but you were watching Nosferatu.
I could have paused Nosferatu to come read something.
You've been on this thing. You wanted to watch it all the way through.
I did want to watch it all the way through, and I
Yeah.
still didn't
Yeah.
get to. I still had to take a break. I couldn't just sit down and watch the whole thing from start to finish. I've had to take breaks. Frustrating, but I watched more of it in one chunk than I did the other day. So I guess that's good. I got to watch the first half and then pretty much got to watch the second half. So that's something. Maybe someday I will get to sit here and watch the whole thing without any interruptions and just succumb to the darkness.
Maybe when it's back in the theaters, or it's like 20th anniversary or
Oh
something.
my God, I'll be so old.
It's okay. It gives you something to look forward to.
I guess. Do you think
Retirement and Nosferatu in the theaters.
I don't know if I have retirement to look forward to. I'm not sure if that's going to be able to happen.
Okay, well then that's doubly good that you have Nosferatu.
And I'm not even going to try to die on the Walmart floor. I feel like no one wants me to retire. Better romantic drama here than anything Netflix. Yeah, it's full of chemistry up in here.
YouTube forever.
What are you doing?
Like playing with the mic stand, trying to unscrew it.
Sorry. Our cat is being distracting. Now she's eating cardboard.
Your special one.
Yeah. Yeah. So now no one's sick anymore. We can start live streaming again. We can start peeping at the comments. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to even look at comments in a while. But we will start streaming again. We'll start reading again. We're going to pick up A Song of Ice and Fire again and keep adding that to the Patreon. We are going to finish Pride and Prejudice. And if you guys have any suggestions, I guess we have to finish Rings of Power too.
Do we though?
We started. We should finish.
Fair enough.
And then I can keep reading Iron Flame live if anyone else is interested in me continuing to do that. I know the third book is out and it's getting absolutely trashed in reviews.
Really? I thought they were doing good in reviews.
Even people who said they liked the books are saying that the third one is garbage. Sunrise Over the Reaping? I do not know what that is. I can't wait to read it. Can't wait to read what the new
Is that what?
No, what is Sunrise Over the Reaping? What is that? The Hunger Games prequel. Oh, okay. That is why I do not know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Never read The Hunger Games.
I never read them either.
I watched like the first movie. I didn't think the first movie was that bad.
I don't know anything.
Just wasn't my cup of tea, I guess.
I don't know anything about the Hunger Games other than Katniss Everdeen is the main character. That's all I know.
Basically, dystopia. they get thrown in this arena and it's a battle royale. Only one can live, but then
that one movie was like a ripoff of it, right?
which movie?
Divergent, like a ripoff of the Hunger Games,
I don't know if it was.
or kind of like a ripoff.
I don't know if it was a ripoff or if they were just going along the same
Like trying to ride
the trend,
ride the Hunger Games bandwagon.
or it was another book written by the same author or something. I don't remember. They're very closely related.
Okay.
But I can't remember.
Okay, but
why.
that's like the kind of the vibe. Battle royale, different factions, teenagers fighting to the death in a dystopia kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said,
Okay.
I watched the movie. I didn't think it was that bad. Just the whole thing isn't my cup of tea. That's all.
I have dystopia is really a tough one for me to get into. It's really usually not my cup of tea. The last dystopian novel I read that I really liked was Tender as the Flesh.
You were just on this
What?
nastiness.
What? I read that book months ago.
I know. So disgusting, though.
It was really good. I liked it.
Play Hunger Games and Minecraft. Same thing.
I recommend the first two books. The third, without the games, got very political. I mean, I like political.
I was going to say, knowing you would hate the first two books, and then you'd be like, the third is amazing.
Probably. It's political. Probably. I mean, that's part of why I like Song of Ice and Fire so much, is I love all the political scheming and all the interplay between all the characters and who's screwing who over and who's doing what and blah, blah, blah. I love all that stuff.
Dragons in action all the way.
I mean, the dragons are definitely cool. Dragons do make everything better. I mean, I got the second Temeraire book. I got to read that. I'm very excited for that. I like the first one a lot. So much. So much. Such a good book.
No, to be fair, I think...
Is 1984 in the public domain?
No.
So we can't read it.
But everyone should.
Everyone should, but we just can't read it. Because it ain't in the public
Came
domain.
out in like 1970s.
Whoa.
Something like that.
Oh, Melanie, I loved Wicked. We are big Wicked fans in this house. It is my child's favorite movie right now. She wants to be Elphaba. Okay, so Suzanne Collins actually knows what she's talking about when she's writing this stuff. That definitely helps. Because Fourth Wing author is apparently a military person, military family, blah, blah, blah. And she don't know what she's talking about. She writes. Bonds, you don't have to...
This is why you write what you know, not what you think will just do well.
Galaxy says it goes public in 2044. We can read it then. He does not have any plans at that point.
All right.
2044. We will read 1984. Sounds good. Honestly recommend it. Doesn't fall into the Divergent Fourth Wing category. You know, I have a coworker who keeps telling me I need to read the Hunger Games too. I've had quite a few people tell me that I need to read them.
That's what I mean. From what I saw, it's a decent story. I think you would probably like it.
I gotta get through
I do think there are some like parts that you probably wouldn't like. You'd find very corny, but overall, I think.
Like what?
I'm not gonna tell you and ruin it.
It's not gonna ruin it.
I think definitely some of the romance stuff, because you're very, very picky about it.
I am really picky about my romance stuff. I am. Oh my god, guys. Have you guys ever heard of Outlander? Tell me if you've ever heard of Outlander. Oh, Animal Farm is in the public domain. Okay.
Oh,
We can read Animal Farm. That's right up my alley.
I really like I like Animal Farm more than I like 1984.
We can read Animal Farm.
1984 is great, but then it goes into like there's that part where forget the characters' names, but the main character meets the girl in like the forest somewhere, and then they go through this whole like backstory section, and it's like 50 pages or something of just the driest material in the book. And it was so hard to get through that.
Animal
part.
Farm is very short, sweet, and to the point, and the themes are just right there. And yeah, we can read Animal Farm. Down to read that. Okay, Outlander. I got this book for Christmas, and I'm been trying to read it ever since. I started it like right after Christmas. This is why I have not started the second Temeraire book, is because I was like, I'm going to read this book, Outlander. And I am still maybe just a smidge of the way to being a little more than halfway done with this book. And it's supposed to be like a historical fiction. And it starts it as a historical fiction. And now it is just the main character and her super muscular, young, red-headed, hot, Scottish Highland warrior husband just banging everywhere every 5 seconds. All that's happened in the last 50 pages of this book is Claire and Jamie rooting around like rabbits. And that's all they're doing. And someone almost got raped. And so it's become a romance, okay? But the romance, yeah, I feel like I have to explain this. Claire is the main character, and she's from the modern day, and she steps into a stone circle, and she gets zapped back to 18th century Scotland. She ends up marrying Jamie, who is just, I swear, every description of his copper hair in the sun. I've read 1,000 descriptions of his bright copper hair in the sun and the stubble on his square jaw. Anyway, she's married to somebody in the present time. His name is Frank. She kind of misses him a little bit. I don't know. For like 2 seconds. She ends up marrying this dude, Jamie. And they're just every 2 seconds. I want you, Claire. I want you so badly. And then they just be banging. And no guilt.
Then they go have a snack.
And they go have a snack. And then she does something stupid. And then he gets mad at her for doing something stupid. But she doesn't learn her lesson. And he's just still like, oh, Claire, you're the most perfect, lovely lady I've ever met in my life. I'm so in love with you and you're so hot. And I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. But the point is I'm really picky about romance. I think that's really what it is. I want to swoon. And people, they just don't make me swoon. Or maybe I'm just not a normal person, because on paper, I feel like Jamie is supposed to be hot. He's tall. He's muscular. He wears a kilt. He's got red hair and stubble and a square jaw. And everything I read are all these women going, oh, Jamie's so hot. And I'm just going,
I think you just don't like gingers. And that's the problem. That's one of the first things you said to me. I don't get it. Why? Like, he's a redhead.
Even if he had dark hair, though. Even if he had dark hair, I wouldn't be sitting here going, oh, Jamie, I'm so in love with you. I don't know. I want Catherine and Heathcliff. I want Jane and Mr. Rochester. That's what I want.
Guess it's not cheating if your husband isn't born yet. It's not cheating if
I
it's in
guess.
different centuries.
I suppose. But his great grandfather is in the book.
Oh my god, is this gonna be like a Futurama thing? He's gonna become his own grandpa, or own grandmother.
There's a scene where his great grandfather almost rapes her, and she thinks she's like, and he's being a creep, and he's threatening her, and he's being really gross. And he says something about how, if he smiles at her after he says something like wildly messed up to her, and she literally has the thought, he looks so much like Frank that I almost opened my legs up for him. What am I reading? And this book has sold millions of copies. It's a TV show, very popular TV show, and I'm at this point in the book, and I'm like, I don't know if I can finish this book.
Who produced Outlander? Was it some other company that was like?
It's on Stars.
I think Stars was like, HBO blew up because Game of Thrones had a lot of boobs. Give me something with a lot of boobs. They're like, Outlander? Yes.
There's not a lot of boobs, though.
Oh.
It's just her boobs. That's it.
No.
But, so I'm sitting here going, can I finish this book? Does it get better? I don't know.
They're just in the honeymoon stage. Things will settle down.
Like, will it get
Maybe.
better? Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not. But I'll give you some hope.
I just think that that's part of my problem is my ideal leading man is not everyone else's. So I just have a big struggle, like, immersing myself into the book.
Orange is the New.
I watched pretty much every season of that show.
I actually didn't.
I watched most of it. I never watched the last season, but I watched most of it.
It was one of those shows everyone was like, you should watch it, and I never did.
I mean, you didn't. You're not worse off for it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but towards the end, I was like, okay, come on. It's getting a little...
It was dragging out.
Yeah. It was getting a little
bit
more... You remember Prison Break?
Yeah.
They got out of prison, and then it just sucked after that.
Yeah, they did with the title. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Prison Break. Yeah, I wanted to see him break out of prison. They did it.
The end.
I need to see anything else.
You're right, that should have been the end. That's kind of how I felt with Orange is the New Black. It just went on to a point where I was like, I just don't care anymore. Anyway, I'm just hoping that this book gets better. That's why I haven't stopped reading it. But I haven't been able to continue either because I don't know.
I think part of it is you have that other book series that you like read right before it. The first book. What was that?
The Temeraire.
Yeah. And you really like that.
Yeah,
so I think
that's
part
true.
of it.
Temeraire was so good. His Majesty's Dragon. That book was so good. I was in love with that book. And then I came off of the high of reading that book. It was so good. And I'm reading this, and I'm just like, oh. Well, that's the thing. I want a good romance book. I think maybe I'm the problem, not the other writers. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I don't want cookie cutter.
No, you want Voldemort.
What? I mean,
It's every villain that you find attractive.
That's
You need
true.
some like weird, dark romance. Where it's like from the perspective of the villain that the romance grows.
I'm skeptical of that, though. I am skeptical of that because, yeah, that actually does sound like right up my alley. Are they evil? Can we write that romance? That actually sounds right for me. But there was a book that came out about two serial killers that fall in love with each other. That sounds like it should be like written for me.
Yeah.
Terrible. Awful. Okay.
Well, you have to be a good writer too.
If you're going to make this, if you're going to make the villain the love interest, don't turn them into a good guy who's like, I'm bad, but really inside, I'm just an insecure child who just wants to be loved. No. You're bad. You're evil. That's the hot part. You ruin it when you make them like good, or the villain turns good through the love of the love interest. Like, no. You fall in love with the villain and you be evil together. That's what it is. Where's that genre? Or who's writing that book?
Could be you.
You know what? Catherine is right. Romance that feels earned in the story. Go on a journey together. Yes. That too. It's about the journey. It's about two characters growing and changing together. Having a bad childhood doesn't make you good. It just makes you more understandable. I've never seen
don't
Killing
really know.
Eve. I've heard it was really good, though. I've heard a lot of good things about it. But no, I've never seen it. Maybe that's my problem. Where's the romance books for the villains?
So yeah, you have to write a story from the villain's perspective. No one ever does that.
Isn't there a series of Disney books out right now that does that?
Yeah, they tell the villain's side where like, or what was the one we got?
The
Rapunzel,
Rapunzel one that you never finished. Once was mine.
Yeah.
You started it.
Instead of like Rapunzel's hair, like healing people and stuff, making them younger, it like aged them and took their life force from them.
Oh. So Mother Gothel's technically a good guy?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It has that dark, twisted kind of romance. It's kind of exactly what you described, but I haven't finished it. Oh, okay. Maybe I will like it. I don't know. Why can't the girl fall in love with the monster instead of the prince that's trying to rescue her? Is that too much to ask for?
That's Shrek.
No. I mean, it is, but no.
That's literally Shrek. You just described.
Yeah, but
it.
no,
Yeah.
not like that.
Then it's Shrek.
Yeah, but that's not what I want.
That's what you got.
That's not good enough.
Name a romance that describes what you said that did it better than Shrek. You can't.
Shrek is a good dude.
He's an ogre.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He is. Yeah, but that's the same. The Beast is good. The Beast is a good guy. The same thing.
So you just want a romance where like they just conquer the world together?
Yeah.
That's Pinky and the Brain.
They're not together, though.
It was in the 90s. They couldn't admit it. Come on.
I don't know that. I don't think that's a good relationship.
Never said it was a good
Pinky's not
relationship.
smart enough to consent, I don't think. Despicable Me? No. Because again, Gru is a good guy. He's a bad guy, but then he gets these 3 little kids, and then he turns into a big, soft, melting pot of goo. And he gets the girl, and all of these things. And then we are being a dad. Blech. No. No. See, I think I'm very hard to please.
Tell us, what would be the plot that you'd want to see?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Boy meets girl, boy traps girl, Stockholm Syndrome kicks in, convinces her to join him in his evil plans.
His dark nature. Well, hang on. I didn't say I didn't like Despicable Me. I do like Despicable. It's just not in the vein of like what I'm talking.
Okay.
I agree. I didn't want Spike. I didn't want Spike to turn good and be buddy. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde's a great example. They were both bad, and they brought out the bad in each other, but they were so good together. In the movie, anyway.
Fair enough.
How close is the Vader story to what you want? No. I honestly did not like the Darth Vader backstory at all.
No?
No. I did not like the Padme romance at all. I hated it.
See,
Why
villain
Attack of the
romance-
Clones is like my least favorite. Oh, no.
See, the villain romance isn't that great. You're not missing out on anything.
He wasn't a villain when they fell in love.
I mean,
He
no,
wasn't.
but went down that road.
Well, yeah.
It was a slow burn, you know? The burning hatred.
You gotta fall in love with him when he's... Gotta fall in love with him when he's Darth Vader. After the horror, after the awfulness, when he's been corrupted and he's rotten on the inside. That's when you fall in love with him. Not when he's 19 and looks looks like he's 12, you know. Not the angsty whatever what's that actor's name? Hayden Christensen? No, not that.
Okay, fair enough.
That's not a villain romance. Doesn't count. It counts if he's already Darth Vader when they fall in love. Then it's a villain.
Can't think of any more like villain romances.
Mm-hmm. Joker and Harley Quinn.
That's like the ultimate Stockholm Syndrome, I think.
The thing that annoys me about Joker and Harley Quinn are people who are fans of Joker and Harley Quinn. That's what annoys me about them. People are very obnoxious about them.
Texan just knocked everything off that shelf.
Oh my god, look at his fat butt struggle. My god.
Here.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Oh my god. I also like if your villains are you're gonna fall in love with the villain. I'm just gonna throw it out here. I also don't feel like it needs to be. The villain needs to be a bad guy. He needs to be terrible. But if you're the love interest, he needs to respect you. Joker don't respect Harley Quinn. He just uses the crap out of her. I don't know. That one isn't... I've got issues with that one. But we are going on a really random tangent. And I dare say it is almost time for bed. I'm gonna have to stew on this whole romance thing. I mean, I don't know what I would write. I also don't know what kind of villain I would write to be my leading man. So there's also that. I don't know. I saw the first Joker movie. I liked it. I did not see the second one. I heard it was awful. So I have no opinion on the second one.
Yeah, the first Joker movie was great.
Yeah, I really
I
liked
heard terrible things about the second one.
Yeah.
They like tried to do a musical and it just didn't work out.
Heard a lot of awful things. So I don't know. Also, when they announced the sequel and they were gonna do the Harley Quinn thing, I was just like, I'm not interested. I don't know. The Joker Harley Quinn thing is just like, ugh. It's just been shoved in my face so long. And also, people just like, oh, I wish I was in a relationship like Joker and Harley Quinn. And I'm like, no, you don't. It would be terrible. Dan,
Yeah, no.
Dan, why are you like this?
What?
Sauron.
Well,
I could get behind.
it would be an improvement.
I could get
I can
behind
say that.
the Sauron thing, but not Galadriel. If you were doing the greater pantheon of Lord of the Rings and you were gonna have a character fall in love with Sauron, I'd be like, okay, you could make that work. Not Galadriel. It doesn't.
Why not Galadriel? Who would you have fall in love with Sauron?
I don't know. Write your own character. I don't know. But Sauron, in the books, you could go with any number of characters. Galadriel, just the way that she's written in the books, her history wouldn't happen.
I don't know. Seems to have a way with her.
You're talking about the show.
Yeah, I am.
Well, anyway, I think that's our cue to probably stop word vomiting before
Fair enough. You can
yeah.
think about what exactly you would want in a villain romance.
I'll think about it. And then we can discuss the next time we live stream.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you
Have a
for
good
popping
night.
in. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you next time. Oh, also, we are no longer on Instagram. We are on Blue Sky. So come follow us there.
I don't think I have the link in the bio. I will put it there, though. All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.